I'm a self-sabotager. Anytime I see potential in someone, I have to pick out the small things about why I shouldn't like them. If, like me, you sometimes hold yourself back from reaching your full potential or even reaching that next level of happiness or success in that relationship you so desire, this type of innate, as an inner mental block, is actually called self-sabotaging. Now, you may be doing this subconsciously because it's just been your way of dealing with resistance that you feel when you're faced with different forms of conflict or discomfort. So in a way, it becomes second nature, like self-defense. You get into a self-defense mode. Or, on the flip side, you actually do catch yourself self-sabotaging. However, you allow yourself to go ahead anyway, like how Leanne expressed in the beginning. Either way, whichever category you're in, you're probably thinking, who is Leanne? I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, whichever category you're in, this video will be a good eye-opener for you, because I'm sure we have self-sabotage in one way or another, either in our relationships, as in romantic relationships, or even in our daily lives, like professionally in our career, and just choices that we decide to make. Just stay tuned and I know you will know what I mean. There's something for everyone here, so just stay tuned. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video is going to be an interesting one. Actually, if you are new, let me know which platform you saw this video on. Just drop it down in the comment section if it was Facebook, if it was Pinterest, if it was Instagram, or just YouTube suggestions or wherever. Let me know. I really do hope you like this video. If you do, don't forget to like it, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that anytime I do post any of these topics, you will be notified, okay? And if it helps you so much, please don't forget to share and also help someone else out there, okay? That is my aim for 2020, to get the word out there, okay? So thank you so much. So, into the real video. Leanne from Love Island. Who watches Love Island? Yeah, I am guilty. I love watching Love Island. And to be fair, I was a fan of Leanne and Mike, in the beginning. Drop down in the comments who your favorite couple is so far, because obviously I'm sure you all watched the episode yesterday, so you already know what went down. So with the remaining couples, who is your favorite and why? So anyway, the real reason why I decided to do this topic, like talk on this topic, research about it and share my thoughts and my thoughts on it, was a couple of episodes back. Leanne actually said that she was a self-sabotager, and like anytime she sees potential in someone, she just has to bring herself to pick up the little things, like the small things, anything, to basically use in order to not like the person who is in front of them. And I think we've probably all done this in one way or the other, but I promise I will speak properly in 2020. Yeah, in one way or the other, we probably have done this. We shot ourselves in the foot in a way, in a relationship. But the reason why it kind of spoke to me was the way she said it. It's as if it was somehow a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like she had it ingrained in her that this is how she was and there was no other way. Therefore, if she's starting to feel feelings for Mike, then this is kind of unsafe for me. So let me retreat, find something that's not so nice about Mike and use it against him so that I can leave the relationship or the coupling, because they're not necessarily in relationships, okay? I would link in the description to one of my favorite YouTubers who does Love Island reviews, like each episode. I'm sure he's gonna have a banging one coming out very soon, so I'll link it down in the description. There's actually two of them. One is called Sideman, this one's Murad, I think that's how you say his name. But again, I'll drop it all down in the description, so go check it out and see exactly what I mean. So a bit of background into Leanne. In her intro video, she said she hasn't really been in any relationship, she's just been situationships. Okay, up until, I mean, I've seen this word, you know, drop in left, right and center, but I didn't really know what it meant. So I had to do a little bit of Googling, you know, okay? And when I did a bit of Googling, what situationship is, I'm gonna read it, okay? It says, it's a relationship that has no label on it, like a friendship, but more than a friendship, but not quite a relationship. I'm confused. Are you as confused as I am? Imagine being in one of these and thinking, where is this thing going? It ain't going nowhere, because it ain't anything. Anyway, I will do a whole video on situationships because I want to know more about it. Not that I want to be in a situationship, but I want to, you know, advise you guys on it, just in case you might be in a situationship, but you might not know. Why am I laughing? It's not a nice place to be in. No, I don't think so. But anyway, that's my opinion. I will get that. I don't want to take away from today's topic, which is self-sabotaging. Okay, so I've broken the video up in a couple of pieces. So I'm going to talk about what self-sabotaging is, my experience with self-sabotaging. Yes, I have. And the end bit, the last part of the video, I will just share ways you can stop yourself from self-sabotaging, or at least acknowledge or see when you're actually doing this, if you're one of the people who do it subconsciously, okay? Psychology today actually defines self-sabotage as when our fear of loss is greater than our desire for gain. Let me repeat that. Our fear for loss is greater than our desire for gain, okay? It's also saying that you want something and doing everything in your power to ensure it doesn't happen. Okay, stay with me. I'm about to break it down. So for example, like Leanne and Mike, they were going at a slow and steady pace. In the beginning, Mike's head got swayed. He went with another girl. Well, another girl picked him, but he came back and said he wanted to put all his eggs in Leanne's basket. When he said he was gonna go, Leanne was fine with this. She took it pretty well, considering that she was in the couple with Mike. Okay, now they seem to be going slow and steady. Everything seems to be fine. Mind you, we are only seeing what the producers show us. Okay, so in the beginning, Leanne was coming across as shy, reserved, and obviously Mike was coming across as confident. I'm gonna take charge. So when they came back, you know, Mike really did, in my opinion, he took his time, was patient, and was just ready to take it one day at a time with Leanne. And I felt as though Leanne was also up for that slow and steady pace. But all of a sudden, she felt like, oh, this is probably getting serious. Let me start to self-sabotage. So she did that, and I think that was probably the beginning of their downward spiral. She didn't express this to Mike until she had a chat with the girls, and then she brought it to Mike's attention. And from that point, their relationship went from kissing and cuddling and God knows what in bed, because they share a bed together if you're coupled together, from that to a high five. Yeah. So after she had the conversation about, you know, feeling that she's self-sabotaging herself, so she needs to find a way to, you know, she's feeling all this pressure, their relationship went from that to a high five. So you would have thought that from there, you know, things will kind of drift apart, but Mike did mention that at night time she wants all of those things, but in the day she expressed in the most brutal way on national TV how disgusted and icky she felt and annoyed of pretty much the existence of this Mike. And she didn't want Mike to touch her anymore. She didn't want Mike to kiss her. She didn't want anything to do with Mike. So when she expressed this again to the girls was like, ooh, okay, you've got the icky, maybe bring it up to Mike's attention. So she brought it up to Mike's attention. Again, in a very brutal way, I would say, okay, the problem isn't that she wants out of the relationship, or she's not feeling something, or she doesn't have to fake something. That's not the issue. It's just the delivery. If the shoe was on the other foot and Mike spoke to Leanne the way she did when she was dumping him, there would have been an uproar. So that's probably something she needs to bear in mind. But anyway, I think because she was being fueled by this maladaptive coping mechanism. You know, it can stem from anything from drinking, self-medicating, negative judgments. You know, that's just your self-defense, something that you crawl into to help you escape from this thing that is so perfect, I would say. Okay, hold on. So all of this forced her to dump Mike, okay? So she dumps Mike in this brutal way and leaves the scene. I'm not going to talk more about what happened. Anyway, actually I will. Because after she dumps Mike, there was a recoupling and the power was in the guy's hands. Mike did not choose her to stay in the villa. I'm not even going to lie, that was probably one of the best feelings ever. I'm sorry. If you're against that, again, I'm sorry. But the way she went about it, if she had dumped Mike in an amicable way, okay, Mike would have kept her in so that she too could find love, okay? And they could have been friends. But the way she went about it, not so nice. So yeah, Leanne, hopefully you find this video and then, yeah, you sort your life out. Don't come for me. Okay, let me see if I can break this down a little bit further, okay? Self-sabotaging runs really deep, okay? It's not necessarily that the person doesn't want to adjust to this newfound feeling of happiness. It's just fundamentally that person feels that they are flawed, so they are not deserving of that happiness or success. Therefore, they have to self-sabotage, so they have to create the drama or the discomfort so that that feeling of happiness doesn't actually happen. Okay, it stems from maybe their upbringing. They didn't grow up hearing praise or feeling worthy or valued, and never really feeling like you're good enough, so why bother, why try? Kind of like, why get my hopes up if I'm going to be hurt anyway? So then I'm not going to try anyway because I already know how this is going to plan out. They kind of want to make sure that things are safe before they actually get excited for it. So there's always this, I'm gonna wait, I'm not quite sure. So it's just like a pattern that this person has just formed from their childhood, or it's developed throughout their childhood. Because think about it like this, when you're in your comfort zone, even if it's not actually that comfortable, like at all, even if it's like high drama, high conflict, like war zone, it's all we know. That's what we've had to deal with. So when we're there, it's a familiar place. Even though it's uncomfortable, it's a familiar place. Our home, our playing field, we know how to navigate the war zone, how to react, how to run, or where to run, where to hide, and generally how to survive in that war zone. So on the flip side, if we are faced with the opposite, that is, let's say from Leanne's point of view, from a situationship, not really knowing where you stand, to this relationship or this coupling with Mike, who is showing signs of caring, kindness, thoughtfulness, kissing, hugging, just comfort and love and happiness and joy. It becomes hard to accept that because it's foreign to Leanne, and having to adjust to the dynamics of this new thing can be quite challenging. it's just not something we're used to. You know, we may like it, we may even love it. We just don't know how to handle, accept, acknowledge, and even receive that love, okay? What we do know is dealing with the drama. So we subconsciously begin to create scenarios that will ignite that drama, that playing field that we are comfortable in, that we know how to handle and maneuver and survive. So we try as much as possible to change this great relationship into the war zone, because that's our comfort zone. So instead of really learning how to adjust to change this newfound happiness that we're actually very content with, or we so desire for our life, it can really make us fearful. So instead of like pushing ourselves towards that thing we so desire, our natural way of dealing with things is, how about we bring it back to a drama-filled war zone relationship, toxic one, because that is what I'm familiar with and that is what I can survive in. Because quite frankly, I don't feel like I am worth the happiness or the drama-free relationship. So why not? Okay, why bother get my hopes up when I know it's just going to end up in whatever, you know, me being dumped or whatever. So let's not try, let's just create some drama and escalate something. Are you still with me? So when you're in that toxic relationship, all you're dreaming about is the day you'll be out of this toxic relationship and you'll be in the loving arms or in the loving relationship of another. And self-sabotaging can be from the men's side or the women. It's a human epidemic, okay? I'm just using Leanne and Mike because that's what triggered or inspired this video. You know, you so desire this relationship, and then once you feel like you're getting it, you're like, ooh, actually, let's go back. We just know how to respond to negative actions. So why not just turn this around so that we're back in control and not so fearful, okay? I hope you're with me and I hope I've explained that quite well. So overall, it's not that the person doesn't want a great relationship. It's just the person hasn't built the capabilities or the discipline, the tenacity to actually stay in a productive and a healthy relationship. It's just very foreign to them. So therapy would definitely help. Talking to people, you know, educating yourself, that would definitely help. But I'll get to that in more detail shortly, okay? So I just wanted to get into my example of self-sabotaging. I only realized this, it was kind of like an epiphany. Whilst I was doing the research, I was like, actually, have I self-sabotaged in my relationships before? And I think I have, not to the extent of Leanne's, but I definitely have shown signs of self-sabotaging because I was operating from a place of insecurity, not feeling good enough, because I'm the type of person who wants to help. I want to be able to fix fix the person who's in front of me. I will use the word fix because that was my mindset. Not fix as in the person wasn't good enough, but I'm the type of person who is a helper. I want to be able to help. I feel valued when I'm helping. I used to rely on getting all my validation from helping others, okay? So unless I was helping someone, I didn't feel like I was worthy of that relationship. So the account where I did self-sabotage or showed signs of self-sabotaging was when I was dating one gentleman. I will call him a gentleman because he actually is, because fast forward and now I know that he was actually a really good person. It wasn't something I was ready for. I was ready for it, but mentally I wasn't ready for, because this person just came across as perfect. Very nice, very caring. And I felt like there's nothing to fix, which is a good thing. But in my head, I was thinking, then what use am I? Because I grew up thinking that if I'm helping someone, that's when my worth is the most. So if I'm not helping anyone, then I'm unworthy. It's a very, very sick mindset. But again, I had to do the work on myself and realize the patterns, you know, so that I can get better. But again, that's why I'm sharing my story. That's what I'm using my platform for, because when you're doing these things, you don't realize you're doing it. Okay, so this person was great and my insecurity started to build up. I just couldn't find something that was wrong with this person that I could help him with so that I too could feel useful. And he loved me anyway. And I felt that when my insecurities started to show up, some of the questions I would ask and the answers that I would get, it just made me feel insecure. Even more insecure, because I was like, oh my God, there's just nothing to do here. Then I gotta go. So long story short, I ended up ending that relationship. And shortly after, or probably a year or so after, I went into another toxic relationship because that person had loads of things for me to fix. But then I ended up being resentful, bitter, because I felt unappreciated for all the help that I was giving and not getting anything in return. See how sick that mindset is? So anyway, that's for another video. So yeah, I ended up self-sabotaging that relationship, but thankfully, you know, we're still friends, or we're still quite amicable. So that's that. And obviously I've learned my lesson and I'm able to attract better people, better and quality people in my life. And that's the plan. And it's not just romantically, in my career, in my, wherever I am, okay? Wherever I am in my life, because I've changed my mindset, I'm able to attract better and quality people in my life, okay? On to the points or the strategies or the practices that you can put into place to just help you just reduce these self-sabotaging, self-fulfilling prophecy things that you have going on in your life. I know it's tough, but it is doable. But the thing is, no one can do it for you. You got to do it yourself. So even though you're watching this video, you're doing the research and all of that, if you are unable to apply it to your life, you know, be disciplined and do that on the soul searching and the work, my friend, it will be 2030 and you will still be a self-sabotager. One, I would say recognize and observe when you are starting to get into the self-sabotaging phase. So when you start to feel that resistance from, you know, that comfort zone that you're in, when you feel that pull, like, oh, am I coming out of my comfort zone? Just observe the feelings there and what is right in front of you, okay? Just observe that thing that's there. So what the person's doing, what they're saying, and then allow yourself to feel those things and accept that change is not the enemy. Change can be good. So observe it and make that informed decision that actually this may be good for me, okay? It will take a lot of practice, a lot of self-discipline, and just taking it a day at a time. It's not a race. It's not a race, okay? You can take it a day at a time and then start to just believe that you are actually worth it, okay? Believe that you are worth something, you're of higher value, you are lovable, you are amazing. If you're not amazing, work on that. But you know where I'm going with this. Why am I always joking? This is a serious moment. Start to believe that you actually deserve every happiness, every joy, every good thing that comes into your life. And you are worthy of every and anything that you achieve or you set your mind to. You are actually worthy of attaining that goal. So let's say it's a great relationship that you so long for. Start to believe that actually you are worthy of that. It's not about what do you bring to the table or X, Y, and Z. Don't focus on that just yet. Just start believing that I am worth it. I'm working on myself, so I am worthy of this love that I so long for. Okay, that's the starting place. It's just building that internal belief in yourself again, because as I said, no one can inject this thing into you. It has to be innate. You have to build it. But the good news is you can build it. And the even better news is you are in charge. You are the driver of your life, okay? So take it a day at a time. And therapy, counseling, all of that is there for you. Take advantage of those things. You know, talk through those things that happen in your childhood or even in your daily life. Just talk through these things. Talking helps so much, because sometimes when everything is in your head, you can get overwhelmed. Talk through things, start journaling, take it out on the piece of paper, not on people. Take it out of your mind, okay? And you will start to see that actually it's okay. I am worth it. So I'm not going to sabotage this situation. So that's the first step. I would say the second step is to learn to manage your fears. This is an area that I'm also still learning, especially when it comes to procrastination. Yes, procrastination is also a form of fear in some way. Just stay with me. Stay with me. You know, we always say, feel the fear and do it anyway. So this thing that you have in your head, this task at hand, you procrastinate because you care so much about it. And because you care so much about it, you're thinking, what if I fail at that? So now you've psyched yourself into failing this particular task. Therefore, you don't motivate yourself to even take the first step. I have a fresh example. I was actually talking to one of my friends where I had a task that I needed to, and a deadline that I was working towards. It's drawing. I'm an artist, and it was about simplifying some artwork that I had for a project that we're working on. And I procrastinated for a while, and I had to be honest with her that the only reason why I hadn't got the work done was because I was procrastinating, and I was just afraid of tackling that thing because I didn't want to fail at it. I'm good at detailed artwork, but I really struggle with simple artwork. And I built this thing in my head that how on earth am I going to simplify this artwork? And then I literally shoved it somewhere, and I was like, I'm going to deal with all the other 100 things that I need to do and deal with that later. And then later became later, until I actually picked it up and I said, okay, come hook or crook, I'm going to simplify this drawing. And can you imagine, it literally took me 5 minutes to finish one of the drawings, and then in total about 20 minutes I was done with 4 of those pieces. I was actually very proud of myself that I took that step. And when I spoke to her, she was just, you know, injecting goodness and just inspiration into me. You need that circle around you, okay? I would say this also adds to the whole steps to overcoming self-sabotaging. Your circle, the circle around you, the people at home, at church, at work, wherever. Your circle is so important, because when you really need that boost, if they themselves are self-sabotager, my friend, you ain't going nowhere. You are going nowhere fast, okay? So change up your circle if you want to change again. If you don't want to change, then stay in your circle. And then obviously this video, you're just watching it to listen to my voice. But if you really want to change, start to change your circle, okay? And the last thing I would say is act fast. Yes, I said take your time, but within reason. So the time you take from acknowledging and knowing what needs to be done, and you taking the action on doing it, that gap, try to not prolong it too much. Sometimes that's when procrastination likes to take a seat, okay? So once you've realized what it is that you need to overcome, so let's say in Leanne's case, she decides she doesn't want situationships. She wants a good, loving husband, boyfriend, whatever. She needs to start allowing herself and believing that she's worthy of it. And then the end product is actually doing it. So doing it is putting an action plan in place so that she can actually achieve this thing. Okay, so maybe it might be positive affirmations daily, journaling her negative self-talk into a book that she doesn't open again, taking counseling sessions, a dance class, picking up a cooking class, something to, you know, just refresh the mind, build new memories, and, you know, ditch the old ones so that she can actually get to that place that she wants to be. So it's an everyday thing, but it's just making sure that you're not prolonging that gap, because that's when, again, as I said, procrastination loves to take a seat. And then what you need to understand is it's okay to have your feelings and everything, but understand you're dealing with humans here. If you want someone to respect you, please respect that person. Okay, do not start this whole entitled business, because it ain't about you. Okay, if you're in a relationship, it's give and take. So try to take that person's feelings into consideration and just move on from there. Okay, just be kind out there. People are going through stuff. Just because they have a tough exterior doesn't mean that everything is okay back home. Okay, just be kind. That's how I'm gonna end this video. Just be kind. Oh, this video is hella long. I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for staying to the end. I hope I didn't just waffle, because I love to waffle on, because I'm technically talking to myself here. And my son is asleep, so I can't talk. I'm just joking. But yeah, I really hope this video was helpful. If you got to the end, what I want you to write in the comment section is bingo. Yeah, bingo. All right, until next time, take care and God bless. Bye-bye.